Tomorrow starts my last full week of my mental health leave that I've been on. It has been a beautiful 11 weeks, honestly. These last 11 weeks have been life changing for me. Like, I know that I'm still going back to the same job, but now I have mental clarity. I feel like I can handle my emotions better. I feel like I had no mental capacity whenever my last day of work was, which I believe was June 28th. And for my people who are new to my channel, you may not have heard me talk about this before, but I did start my very first time posting about my work burnout was in July of 2023. That's when I officially realized I am at my wit's end. I cannot take this. So I will definitely just link those videos in the description. I want to say I probably had a total of 3 or 4 videos regarding it, and I will definitely link those in the description if you would like to catch yourself up. But July 1st was my first day of mental health leave. I wish I had honestly looked into it a little while before. Just I didn't know it was a thing. I guess I thought that you could just not get paid, and what I had saw on my job's website was mainly regarding like FMLA or like a leave of absence, which was not paid, which I wanted to make sure I was getting paid. But actually one of my followers on TikTok reached out to me and said that she was going through a lot of the same things that I was going through, and she talked to her doctor about a short-term disability leave, and she is getting paid, and I should try that. And I had nothing to lose. So I did look into it, contacted my job, contacted my local doctor, cried for help, literally. And he ultimately did fill out the paperwork so I could submit that to my job and potentially get it approved for leave. They did approve it. I will say the only thing I wish it like wasn't like a policy of theirs was to like approve it in waves. Like, I want to say at first I had gotten approved for like 4 weeks, and then I spoke with them after they did the 4, and they approved it for another 2 because I was on medication that was going to take time to work. And then after that, like, they had to do an extension, so my doctor had to fill out more paperwork. So they ultimately had approved it until 12, which I was so thankful for. And I think that if it's something where I really felt it was necessary, I could request another extension, but I'm not going to do that. Obviously, I don't want to be greedy. I feel like I am at a much better place mentally than I was 11 weeks ago. Like, it's night and day, to be very honest with you. I'm so thankful that I was able to do this. And like I said before, if that's something that you're struggling with, the worst they can say is no. And 100% like reach out to your doctor, reach out to your job, and just see what options you have. Obviously, your options are going to vary from job to state, things like that. And if one doctor tells you they don't think it's a good idea, try to find another doctor. Like, if you are experiencing anything like I was experiencing mentally, you have to keep pushing and keep trying until you can get that relief, because I honestly felt like there were so many aspects of my job that I was feeling traumatized by, and to keep going back every single day to the thing that's traumatizing you, and you can't take a step back to get the mental clarity that you need to better handle that and your emotions and everything. Like, it was just a recipe for disaster. My doctor had prescribed me meds, and he wanted me to see a therapist. The meds, in my opinion, are not working. I have struggled with anxiety for years, and that's actually something that I am opening up about a little bit in my ebook, as far as just when I first noticed I had anxiety. I don't think I talked about like how I did go on medication for anxiety before, but I did in 2021, and ultimately I did not feel like it helped. He wanted me to get on medication. I was like, whatever you want, but I don't think it's going to work. And some people say I should have been on it for longer. I mean, he's the doctor. I'm not going to tell him that. I can't tell him what to do, especially with the type of personality that he has. But I think I had did it for like the first one we did for like 2 weeks. Didn't notice anything, up the dose. I want to say we tried another week or two, and then we switched to another medicine that I was on for 4 weeks. Noticed no difference, still feeling anxious. I think that really affected me from work was more so just all over depression, just feeling depressed, not motivated, didn't want to clean the house, didn't want to do so many things. And I just feel like, honestly, as soon as I got on leave, suddenly I wanted to mop the floor, I wanted to clean all these things. And I just feel like I've had time to really think about what I need, as well as me just feeling motivated to finish out this mortgage payoff journey. Like, I obviously need these funds in order to do so, and I just feel like it'll be a new motivator for me to just finish out strong. Just remember that at the end of all of this, I am cutting my hours in half by 50%. That's going to help tremendously. Like, that itself is going to be life changing, to like maybe for good, work part-time, maybe go back full-time someday. I don't really know. For now, that's what I want to do for the foreseeable future. And knowing that, by the time I get back to work, it'll be almost exactly 10 more months until we can have this house paid off. That is a motivator. Like, let's show up every day. Let's think about the positive. Let's think about I work from home. I don't have to drive places. Like, yes, things frustrate me, but I can handle this. I can do this. I'm going to control what I can control. And sometimes with dealing with customers and just hurt by some of the things that they were going through, I really just have to vocalize with them. Like, I would love to help you in the way that you want to be helped, but I have to follow my policies. I'm going to do everything I can for you, things like that. Just, in so many words, there were just a lot of different aspects from different parts of my job that were really bothering me, and I just have to go into it with the mindset of I can control what I can control. Income is a tool that we're using that we need right now, and there are boundaries that I have to set in my working environment. If they don't want to respect my boundaries, that's on them, that's not on me. The thing that was really exhausting was trying to escalate everything. And while the person who was above my manager, sure, I did have success with that, but that's exhausting. I don't want to have to keep escalating things. I don't want to keep taking their time. So really, I just have to put that wall up. I have to just say, I come here. This is my job. It really stays with that. It really goes as far as this is my job and I come here to do the work I'm supposed to do. I'm not going above that. I'm not going beyond that. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do the best I can. Those boundaries just need to be respected. There are so many other scenarios of people working where boundaries have to be respected. You have to respect what they're asking for. And I feel like for the sake of my mental health, those boundaries can be respected. I'm going to be sticking up for myself in situations where I need to stick up for myself and advocate for myself. I will. But in other scenarios, if it's just something that's just not that big of a deal, I want to let it go. And I just want to say it is what it is type of deal. And that's kind of how I was before. And that's kind of what really was like my 13th reason. I was just kind of letting everything be like, that's not fair, because it wasn't. There was a lot of things that were going on that it's just not fair. But hey, if they decide that they know what's best in 100% of scenarios, and fine. If you want to kind of just make us be robots sometimes, whatever, I'll do whatever I came here to do, what you're instructing me to do. It is what it is, and you're the boss. You got it. Anyway, taking full advantage of my time off. One thing that was also stressing me out was just with working and having so many appointments that were just I need to do appointments. I need to go to take my kids to the dentist. I need to go to the dentist. I need to do this. I need to do that. Just things that humans need to do. I need to call this company about my bill. I have a question about my bill. I can't call them because I'm working from 8 to 4:30 and my lunch is 30 minutes. I'm eating lunch. For some companies, they'll have you waiting on hold for 30 minutes. It's just human things that humans need to do, I couldn't do. And that was another thing that was just really just taking me over the edge, honestly. Just so many things. Humans should not have to work 40 hours a week. That is a hill I will stand on probably for the rest of my life. Human beings who have the basic necessities that they need to do outside of their work should not be required to work 40 hours a week. I get it. A lot of people work more than that. I used to work more than that. When I was working on paying off debt, I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I get it. I've done it. I've worked the small amount of hours. I've done the part-time. I've done full-time. I've done overtime. I've done it. But especially people who are trying to do a household. I have kids. I have a family. I have to clean a house. I have to call and handle my business. 40 hours a week on top of that, where by the time I get off work, I am exhausted. But kids still need stuff. Kids need to eat. I need to eat. Cleaning, watching TV, leisure. It's a lot. So we're taking full advantage of everything we can. I'm trying to mentally prepare and create some type of structure as far as cleaning. Things that actually bring me joy is cleaning, and just feeling like I can't do stuff like that. So try to make a cleaning schedule, a 2 weeks cleaning schedule that isn't super strict. Just hey, over the course of these 2 weeks, let's do all of these things over the course of these 14 days, just trying to make it easier on myself so there's not so much pressure. I'm not getting overwhelmed on top of everything else. So I feel good about it. As far as the therapy, my thought process as far as therapy has always been, isn't a therapist going to tell me something about myself that is information that was already available to me? And I don't want anyone to get me wrong. There are tons of people where therapy works for them so well and it changes their life. And I love that for them. It could also be just kind of like childhood trauma. Like my mom made me go to therapy whenever I was a teenager and we were starting to have our issues with each other. And it turned into the therapist saying, actually, seems like the issue starts with Seneca. Let's just have this be therapy for her. Didn't resolve anything. Like our issues were so sporadic that, after she said, okay, looks like you guys are good. You guys don't need any more therapy. Very well could have been a week later that we had more issues. So it kind of was that. And then it's also just like, you know what? Whatever this doctor wants me to do, he wants me to go on medicine. He wants me to have a therapist, whatever you want, doc, did it. Ultimately, I will say that really more than anything, what I think it is just having someone to really just kind of unload on and just say like, this is everything that's going on. And like, she's a professional. So she can then tell me, oh, try this, try that. Again, not backing on any therapist. She's a great person. She's very nice. I will say the one thing that I feel like I struggle with is when I can't, like, I just feel like there's some type of wall between us. Like, it's very professional. It's very professional. And sometimes professional can be amazing. And then sometimes I can feel like, there's something missing almost. Like we're not fully connecting, like on a fully personable level. Like I'm dumping my trauma on you and all these things. But I just feel like almost like this is like a corporate type of thing and like just so professional. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's one thing that I kind of struggle with a little bit. Not struggle with because that's a little extreme. It's just one thing that's kind of in the back of my head when I do speak with her and stuff like that. I feel like we had like a good breakout session. Like more recently, our most recent session, I'm like, wow, this feels really good. Like I feel like I have mental clarity. Like she's pointing out some things that, kind of telling her like this is what I think I'm gonna do and stuff like that. But ultimately at the end of the day, I just feel like with therapy, it's kind of just at the end of the day, they're grasping at things that you are fully capable of finding within yourself, if that makes sense. I think it was the end of August when I had my last follow-up appointment with my doctor. I told him I wanted to get off the medication. He ultimately agreed. I just think that at this point, after something isn't working for you, the best thing for me is just going to be the mental aspect. So I did have the appointment with the therapist after visiting with him that last time. And then I had another appointment scheduled for this Monday, the 16th, which I did decide to cancel, just feeling like the little bit of time I have left here, this last week, I want to make that time productive to do other things, even if that's just me sitting on the couch and watching TV. That time is precious. I have a lot of other things I'm working on right now, like my ebook, creating content, cleaning the house, all of that. So just feeling like every single minute I have at home is precious and wanting to take that time to do something that I really want to do. And I just don't feel like it would be as productive to take that time to do the therapy appointment. So I did go ahead and cancel that probably like an hour or two ago, just able to do it online. Like, honestly, I can't be upset about anything. I've taken full advantage of this time off. Like, honestly, from the beginning, scheduling appointments, things that were contributing to my stress and anxiety. From the beginning, I've done lots of appointments on here. Obviously, that doesn't mean that the appointment costs are racking up, just because how our insurance works is you pretty much pay for things until you reach your deductible, with minus like the discount that the insurance company gives you, which our deductible is $8,000. But either way, just thankful that the money is going to come regardless. We're not worried about having, even though I did make that video, talking about how things were a little tough as far as trying to make sure that all the money was there. But at the end of the day, you have so much time to pay these medical expenses. Anybody who's watching this who's a medical professional or in billing for medical stuff, it's not due immediately. We already have our medical fund sinking fund, like we talked about before, which at this point now I think we're at like $900. I did unfortunately find out that my dentist isn't covering as much as we thought of the appointment that I had back on the 3rd. So more to come on that. They're appealing it, and we have 30 to 60 days to find out if they end up covering it or not. But that means that now we're at like a tally of probably at least $1,900 out of pocket, but I can't recall if that's before or after my son's situation that he just had with him going to the ENT, because he's been having like a really runny nose and then also like bleeding a little bit out of his nose. Finally got him into the ENT. He stuffed something way up there. They took out as much as they could, but ultimately had to put him to sleep to get the rest of it out. That was on Thursday. That was tough. I did take a little bit of footage when we were finding out.
Yeah, so the doctor found some kind of stringy substance in his nose. He was pulling it out. He was kicking and screaming. and it's still some in there, so we have to make another appointment to put him to sleep and get the rest of it out.
Sad.
You sad? Why are you sad?
Because I don't want to keep my nose.
Okay.
Drayden, what did you put in your nose?
So I don't know. Then when the doctor coming, I go to keep my nose, and then I just can't keep my nose.
You feel okay now?
Oh yeah.
Do you hurt?
Oh no.
Okay, good.
Our first time that our kid has to have surgery.
Yep, it's rough.
And not only that, but after midnight he can't eat. My kid's not gonna go for that.
Nope.
So how, Sway?
Mom, are we going to here?
To wake up in the morning and say no, you can't have food? How do people do that? What we think it is, maybe stuffing from a pillow. That's the best thing I could like come up with. Like one of these pillows, like some stuffing was sticking out. I don't know. So it was very difficult doing that, but we got it done. Unfortunately, there's not closure though, because they did say that while they were up there, they did find that his, and I'm going to say this word wrong because I can remember how to say it, antidotes are large, very large. Can't tell if it's due to just this whole thing that's been going on, him having something up there and it being so inflamed up there, or if it's more than that. If they don't shrink down, we are probably going to have to get them removed. So anyway, yeah, we'll see how much that is. We know so far how much the visit is that he did have on Tuesday to just get it checked out. That is coming to about $235. As far as the procedure, that is still to come. Obviously, I really don't care. I want my baby to be okay. I want him to be fully cleaned out up there. I don't want anything stuck up his nose. That was the most important thing. So whatever it is, we are going to be prepared for it whenever that bill does come in. But yeah, definitely had a lot of appointments these past 11 weeks. Just thankful that we were able to get it in. Like your perspective changes just depending on what you've been going through. For me, it's been so long of just wishing that we could just up and go to appointments. So I'm just thankful that we were able to get all of these appointments out the way. Yes, that comes with medical expenses getting crushed into about 3 months and things like that, but it is what it is. Otherwise, it should have been spread out throughout the year and costs that we probably would have had anyway. So I'm happy about that. I did just get the Mazda and oil change on Friday. We went to a different place because the one that we were going to like the past couple of times to get like other work done, they were quoting $70. And I know that prices will vary from across the country. So you might be used to paying more. You might be used to paying less. I am used to paying about $50 to $55 for an oil change. So I had scheduled them and then I went called someplace else. They quoted the $50 to $55 that I was used to. So I canceled with the first place. And then I looked on the counter and my husband brought in the mail, and there was another place that we used to go to for years that was having a sale on their oil changes for $40. So we ended up going there. They are doing some type of revamp at this place. They didn't used to let you schedule online. Now they do. I will say that they used to do this whole thing where they would take a picture of different things that they did look at, like on your vehicle with the inspection, and they do an inspection with the cost, like that is included. But I didn't get any pictures or anything like that. I asked them, like, was there anything you guys saw? They said no. So I don't know. I might reach out to them about that. I might just email them to ask about that because I'm truly curious. I did say they recently opened another location, maybe about 25 to 30 minutes away from this one. It has a great lot like this one that I'm used to. The parking lot is so small. Their waiting area is like 3 chairs. I just feel like they could do more. I know it's hard for a business to up and just move someplace, but I wish that that's something that they would have pursued before they open another location. Again, not my business, just feedback, honestly, that I really just want to reach out and ask questions about. I think that's something that every business could use is feedback. So other things that we have this week, I do have a filling scheduled for Tuesday. I was supposed to get the second half of my dental work done, but now that we are unsure about the cost of things and most likely my insurance isn't going to cover it, we're not going to get the work done. We're just going to do the filling and leave it at that. So that's interesting. Would love to still get that work done, but they're not going to most likely cover it until like February. So just going to wait on it because otherwise it's probably going to be like at least $600 for me to pay. I want to say that's it as far as other things that we want to get done. Oh, and a big thing that I'm going to do this week is get my driver's license renewed. My birthday is coming up in like less than 3 weeks, so my driver's license is actually set to expire this year, and then I will be good for 8 years, which is super exciting. But yeah, as far as work, back to the grind, trying to just kind of figure out a plan to help me manage things that I have going on now. Really trying to get the ebook done before I get back to work, but also at the same time not rushing it and taking it slow. So it may or may not be done by that time. And then also just kind of looking at how we're going to end up doing YouTube. I still want to be consistent with it. So definitely let me know in the comments like what type of videos you guys would like to see. I definitely want to keep doing my day in the lives, even though I noticed that in comparison to my other videos, people don't watch them as much, but I enjoy them. This is my channel. I like documenting it for sure. I'm going to keep posting those. So let me know what other things you guys would like to see. I do know that one person did comment and say they would like to see the rundown of our closing costs. So I definitely want to film that video soon. Obviously, still going to be doing budgeting videos, monthly budget, maybe our paycheck budgets. We'll see. But I do feel like there is so much that goes on with our finances, so I really have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But let me know if there's anything else you guys would like to see with it. But yeah, just about 9 more days until back to work. I do have about 6 more days of PTO left for the rest of the year, which isn't a ton, but it is doable. And I'm thankful that I have 6 days of PTO for about 3 months in comparison to like 6 months, like it would have been if I didn't go on leave. So I already have time scheduled for my birthday next month and the day after. So I'll have a little 4-day weekend in October anyway. And then I'll have a couple days for November and a couple days for December. And we can refresh in January. Let me know if I'm forgetting anything. What would you want to prepare for with going back to work after being off for an extended period of time? I just feel like, honestly, I need structure sometimes, but at the same time, I need less structure. It's hard to explain. But I really just think that at the end of the day, I don't want to overthink it. I want to go into it as this is what it is now. You know, luckily I've already been getting up early every single day. Well, almost every day to get my son ready for school. So that's not much of an adjustment. The only thing that I really, really wish is that I could like take a walk like in the middle of the day, especially with it almost being fall. I wish that I could have that time with just the sun and the clouds that I love seeing. But my 30-minute lunch break really does not allow me to do anything else besides like eat and get back to work. So ready for next year to go part-time and be able to do as much as I need to do for my day. That is for sure. That is one benefit to just lowering our expenses and paying off this house. But yeah, for sure, comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. And if you like today's video, please like the video. Bye-bye.